Like, how can you lay your hands on your teacher?
So for Christina and Jacqueline, how did you stop teaching English? Kind of like how and why?
Maybe first.
You go first.
Oh, you go first.
Okay, me. So I started teaching English around like the beginning of the Japanese school year, so around March. And by the time it was like July, I was already feeling really burnt out. For me, teaching adults is okay because I used to teach to adults, like to immigrants that moved from like other Eastern countries to the US at the like volunteer place. So that was okay and really comfortable. But kids, I don't know, kids were really hard. Like the little girls loved me, but sometimes like the little boys were so much trouble. Like, they were so bad. Yeah, like I don't know if it's like Japanese like anime or like little like the 4 like comics or whatever, but they're like, they're like flipping your skirt. They're like, ha 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 ha, we flip your skirt.
What were they?
Panties. Yeah, they tried multiple times.
What?
Yeah.
Didn't do that.
I never had that.
Yeah.
No, the worst thing, the worst, like I had so many hands slapping my butt, but that was kindergarten, just like, hey teacher. So like that was normal. It's just like the reach limits, you know? But like, I had nothing like full attention. What?
Yeah, and also, yeah, I don't know, like I was just like, oh, Japanese children are so like touchy. And when we went on a field trip, like it was actually on my birthday, so I was like, I have to work on my birthday. Like some little boy in my group, he touched my chest, and he was like, oh, chisai, and I was like, oh my god, I want to.
Did the teachers do anything?
I didn't tell them because I was so horrified. Like, and like in our school, we didn't punish them. They just give them a stern talk.
Another thing.
So I was
like when something like that happens, or anything, or like when someone kind of yelled, didn't want to do something, the teachers just don't do anything. I don't understand.
Yeah, that really bothers me.
Yeah.
So I was just so tired.
Maybe if it is in elementary school, maybe kids.
Yeah, no, but yeah, kids or not, you have to tell them.
Yeah,
don't do that. This is wrong. If they don't say anything.
But I think this, if it is in middle high school or junior high school, they will be punished.
So what happened in your school?
They didn't.
Right. So, I don't.
Oh my god.
Like they didn't. I mean, the students didn't. So
really?
I mean, Indonesia, even though they're young, they never like grow or so. Like one of my students actually did this.
Yeah, but like for example in France, if a kid says something wrong, doesn't do homework, acts in a bit strange way, you take like the parents connection notebook, write it down, give it to the parents, just to inform them that it happened. Maybe go higher to like disciplinary level or something. But like every time something like touching the chest, it will be like Mrs. something. Just know that your son touched Mrs. Christina's chest. Best regards, and like sign it so that the parents know. Just
I constantly write the inappropriate stuff the children did to me. Nothing ever happens, and there's like a day this kid, I think something happened to him at home, and he became violent, and he slapped his friend. Like I was like, don't do that. It was like a real.
Oh my god!
It was because she was trying to help him with explaining the grammar or stuff, and she's like, "Rusai," and it was like, I was like, oh, I was like, what the heck? Yeah. And then I wrote it down, and then I told the boss, and then nothing. And I also like told the mother of the girl who got slapped, and the mother is just like, Soneska.
Oh my god!
What? And they're like 7 or 8 years old, I think.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's not like 3 years.
Yeah, like if they're young and you don't teach them that it's wrong, they will just keep on doing it.
Yeah, I agree. They should discipline them from early age, and also like teach them how to keep their hands on their stuff.
Yeah.
Like, how can you lay your hands on your teacher?
Yeah. I also
Oh my god.
they did this, they also like do this, and they, oh,
Yeah.
oh my god, guys. So like,
Unbelievable.
one day there's like this bunch of girls in my class. They just like drawing in the whiteboard.
I know this story.
Yeah. And okay, usually they will like draw maybe, I don't know, like a face or like a, I don't know, unko. Okay, that's annoying, but still I guess. Yeah. But they were drawing the male teacher naked, complete with a big hair and and how and why, and I was so shocked, and they were like 8 years old, and they're all girls. Like, what? I was like, okay, please, no.
Speaking of, so this is not bad. Basically, well, I laugh very easily. Like, bad jokes will get me anyways. So even in France, I had like, you know, the teacher poker face.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to like not laugh when students do dumb shit, because you're supposed to be a teacher and it's supposed not to be funny. But usually, so I was like, like really trying to face in the primary school. In here, yeah, she knows this one as well. In the primary school, so we were learning about the Olympics and like the sports and everything. And so there we were learning about sports names, including tennis.
Mm-hmm.
And the boys found it hilarious to say penis instead of tennis.
Oh no.
And, yeah, but so I mean, this in itself is not bad, but then they said it like dozens and dozens of times all the time, and they kept saying it, but the teacher never acted on it. Like, they didn't even tell the kid to kind of stop. So basically it was me kind of like the judgmental teacher's look, you know, the really kind of like this sometimes made them stop. The teacher never acted on it. But I mean, this in itself was fine, but once it almost cracked me up, because tennis and like penis, okay, it was fine, not very funny to me. But there is a sport in Japan called soft tennis.
Oh no.
And so just one time, randomly in class, one kid, so it was like, what club do you want to join? I want to join soft tennis club. And another kid at the back of the room, soft penis. And this almost cracked me up, I have to say. I laughed.
Oh no.
I was not expecting that. Like, I just had the image in my head. Like, oh no.
No,
Oh, Christina, you're freezing. You're frozen. Ah. Okay, Christina, hello? Christina, hi.
No, Christina. It was a story to end the stories.
Oh no. Christina is broken by your story.
A few moments later.
So funny stories.
Yeah.
Okay, so I found the question in the English class on the sheet. Then, the question was, 日本語で書かなきゃじゃない、英語で何かを書かなきゃいけなかったの、文を。で、the question was like, call me back.
Call me?
Call me Dick.
Call me Dick, like you know the Richard's nickname.
Oh my God.
Yeah, one of
Maybe
the
Dick?
smart boy and realized that question. So, まあそれが一番面白かったことかな。
Yeah, weird day teaching.
大体ジョークだね。
Ah, yeah.
It was not good sheet for students.
But I feel like Christina and Jacqueline, you've had quite a lot of bad experiences, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because for us, but maybe it's different cities, but like it was no real problem. Like once a student shouted at me, but that's because he was super shy and he didn't want to speak and he got scared. So it was like very quickly settled, no problem at all, but like nothing bad. What happened to you guys?
Yeah, I didn't want to continue because I felt so burnt out. Like some of the kids were really bad. There's like no discipline, like disciplinary action to help them. And also like I don't know, I felt weird working at an eikaiwa because it's kind of like, oh, these kids, they should be playing at home, but they have to go to school after school.
Yeah.
They have to do more sports.
Yeah.
So I felt really like, oh, I have a job, but I'm forcing this idea that kids should like do a lot of work in order to keep up with their peers.
Oh, I would
It
tell
didn't
them
agree with me.
like take breaks.
Yeah, it didn't
Please
agree
stop
with
working.
me. Yeah, I really did not like it. Like one-on-one teaching was okay, even like with kids. If they were like really tired from school, it's okay because we were like, oh, okay, let's teach on our own pace. But if it's like a group of like 8 kids and they're all like wired up or they're like dead from school, like either way is a really bad class.
I have a lot of classes like that too.
Yeah. And a lot of teaching to the kids was like flashing cards repeatedly and playing games. And some of the kids were like really bored. And we weren't allowed to use Japanese at all in the classroom. I felt like it could have helped their understanding and make like some little links in their brains or something. But
Oh yeah, maybe that's why my experience wasn't bad. Basically, I had no rules. So on one way on the one hand, it's not that good because I don't have anything to guide me. But on the other hand, if I needed a wee bit of Japanese, I would use it. If I wanted to change stuff, new game, different class, I could do it. So maybe that's also why it was fun. Like I had a really, really good relationship with my bosses.
wow.
It's like family eikawa. I was the only full-time teacher.
Wow, that's so nice. Yeah, we had a lot of rules and like we used like a chip system. Like, okay, if they answered well, they would get like this green chip. Okay, oh, if they missed this but they got this right, they get a yellow chip. And then if they didn't get it all, they would get a red chip. And like all the students were pressured to get like all perfect chips. And I heard stories of mothers like not giving their children dinner because they didn't get all like blue or green chips, which is crazy to me. Yeah.
Abuse.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, so I was like, oh, I do not like this.
Talking about that at lunch, how usually kids in Japan don't really speak English in class. It's mainly like listen, read, write.
Yeah.
So one thing I focused on last year was also the school teachers, was to convince the kids that as long as you try, even if it's completely wrong, it's an amazing job. So like just try and speak. But like with this kind of system that you had, they can't do that.
ちょっと日本語
Yeah,
で
they
説
felt
明をよ
pressure.
多分ちょっと私も経験があんまりないからあれなんだけど昔から本当に日本のそのティーチングシステムは受験のためその大学に入るための勉強としてやっぱりずっと考えられてたっていうのがあってその英語だけ考えるとその英語ってやっぱりその勉強の一つとしてやっぱ考えられてたその 今みたいにグローバルな社会じゃなかったから、日本が。やっぱりなんだろう、国語算数とか理科とか社会とかと同じように、こう、筆記書くことがやっぱり重要っていうか、いうふうに考えられていて、で、まあ今もやっぱりそういうのはあるんだけど、なんて言うんだろう。
Yeah, it's the focus on results.
そうそうそうそう。だからやっぱり話すことっていうよりは書くこと、読むこと、あと何？書く、読む。
read, what? Listen, speak,
そ
write,
うそうそうそう。聞いたりとか。でも今は結構それを変えようとしてて、すごい。だから先生たちもそういうトレーニングをしてる。話せるようにするための練習をさせましょうって言ってすごい言われているので、ちょっとずつ変わってきてはいるけど、やっぱりまだ話すっていうことはやっぱり日本人は苦手だと思う。
Yeah, so they're so super shy to speak. Like something I also did, and why using Japanese was good, is that I would tell them in my broken Japanese, like, look, my Japanese is bad, but you can kind of understand.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
I suck, but I speak.
Yeah, I just like
Yeah.
think about it. It's okay as long as you
So little by little, kind of changing the idea.
まあ、ただ私が思うのは、ごめんね、ちょっとごめんね、本当ごめんなさい、いっぱい練習します。
It's okay.
だけど、なんで、例えば日本人って話すのが苦手っていうのはなんでかって考えると、学校だけの問題じゃないと思ってて、例えば、まあ、ヨーロッパの人たちとかってやっぱり英語を話す機会がたくさんある。日本は英語が話せなくても日本語だけでずっと生きていけるから、だからなんていうの、日常的な生活に英語がない、全然。だから英語を喋る機会をもっとなんか学校だけじゃなくてお家とか普通の生活で増やさないと多分喋れるようにならないかなって。学校でいくら先生が全部英語で授業をして話せる機会があったとしても全然足りないかなって教えてと思ったかなっていう。
Yeah, I just really wished they changed the way they taught English so that would be fun for the students and to encourage them to speak. But if they're afraid of getting something wrong and they're punished for it, then of course they would never speak. So it feels so sad. Yeah, I want them to have fun. Yeah.
Also don't teach them to just memorize.
Yeah.
Just memorize, but you have to do it. Practice, like practical.
They don't have anywhere to practice. You just go sit there.